Okay, so I did a little bit of research really quickly, and I found a whole bunch of cats and dogs trivia that you all might have missed.
Mm-hmm.
So the police captain's name is Fleming, a reference to the writer of the James Bond novels, Ian Fleming.
Whoa.
Also, the name Tab Lazenby is a nod to actor George Lazenby, who played James Bond in Her Majesty's Secret Service. And he's voiced by Sir Roger Moore, who played Bond in 7 movies, starting with Live and Let Die. Did
Whoa.
you know? Here's some more. When the robot cat sheds its fur, it says meow like Arnold Schwarzenegger, a nod to the Terminator.
Wow.
How do you say meow like Arnold Schwarzenegger? What does that mean? I
Thank
did
you,
not catch that.
IMDb.com.
What does that mean? Well, meow.
Yeah.
Get to the meow.
Like,
Get to the litter box.
I didn't catch that because I was too busy freaking out over the Terminator music sting, which I think is the far more obvious reference.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Sure you okay, big shot?
Fine, good. No, not good, not good. Yeah, I'm gonna barf.
Welcome to Dog HQ.
3 hours ago, we intercepted this transmission.
I will enslave all mankind!
You can't begin to imagine how dangerous she is.
It's our worst fears come true.
We have no other choice.
Meow.
Cats and dogs will have to work together.
Oh boy.
Welcome to Rough Cuts. We watched Cats and Dogs 2, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. So I am your host, Ilian, and obviously we've got co-host Boix.
Hello.
And we have special guest. I'm like, how would you like to be introduced? Actually, I never thought about that. I'm like, wait, do you want your internet name or your real name? I don't know.
Well, they're both internet names. I'm behind 7 layers of internet names, so you'll never find out who I really am. But yeah, you can introduce me as Jordan. But I sometimes, for my channel names or whatever, I use Drinking with Skeletons. But that's the channel. I'm Drinking with Skeletons Monster.
Perfect. Okay. You did the extra step of watching Cats and Dogs 2. And you thought the 2 meant that you had to watch it twice?
Well, no. What happened is I watched it once for our original scheduled recording date, and then that was a week ago. Now it's a week later, so I figured I'll watch it again to refresh.
Oh no! Did you actually watch it 3 times?
I watched it 3 times in total
my God.
because I didn't know we were planning to watch the film together before recording.
I thought that Boix mentioned that to you.
Maybe he did, and I just forgot. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
I watched it twice just today.
Oh my God! I thought that was just the twice thing.
This is coming from the person that watched Cats and Dogs and Son of the Mask for fun as a kid.
Well, I was a different person then.
Especially when you felt awful, which those movies will do. But also, you felt awful.
Yeah, you just gotta pretend to be sick for your parents, and you can do like the traditional methods. You can, stick a thermometer into some hot water that you've hidden under your bed, or you can make yourself sick by watching Son of the Mask. And you'll be vomiting all morning.
Some people watch The Price is Right when they're sick. Son of the Mask, though.
I pretended to be sick just so I could watch Son of the Mask.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, so you watched Cats and Dogs as a kid, which is why we decided on watching Cats and Dogs 2. And apparently there's a third, which sucks.
Well, the third was direct to DVD, so they didn't pull out all the stops for that one like they did for this film.
No. Just to refresh anybody who maybe didn't watch the first episode or hasn't seen Cats and Dogs, that is a story about a beagle named Lou who gets caught up in a spy agency story of stopping a cat called Mr. Tinkles from making all humans allergic to dogs. And then they massacre a bunch of, like, mice or rats or something, I think, in a factory.
This is really good as a refresher for everyone, particularly me, who has blocked out all of Cats and Dogs 1 and spent the first 10 minutes of this film going like, wait, this seems familiar. And then you went, we watched Cats and Dogs 1. And I went, no, we didn't. No. We did a whole episode on it. I went, no, we didn't. That's bullshit. I didn't watch Cats and Dogs. And then about like 20 minutes later, I went, wait a minute, I remember Cats and Dogs 1. It's true. It's flooding back. God.
Stop fucking with me. I didn't watch that movie. I would know.
I would absolutely know if I watched a bad movie called Cats and Dogs.
Once they introduced the memorable returning character Lou the Beagle, you immediately knew.
I did not recognize that was the Beagle from the first movie.
I didn't. I actually that didn't clear
I
anything.
was like, who is this dog? Who is this?
The part that really nailed me was when they reintroduced Mr. Tinkles, but now as Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, what?
Which,
why?
You know, kids movie.
Kids love Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, kids love that movie.
The last bird who stood this close to me, well, I enjoyed his company with a plate of fancy feast and a nice saucer of milk.
Yeah. As the trivia says, this movie contains nods to Lethal Weapon, 1987, Mission Impossible, 1966 version, The Silence of the Lambs, 1991, Batman, 1989, and the Bond films. Nods to the Bond movies include Goldfinger, 1964, Moonraker, 1979, and From Russia with Love, 1963, which, yes, does in fact make the most recent reference in this movie. 20-some years old at the time of it.
That is not true. That is not true. The most timely reference in this film is Hamster Dance.
That's okay, that's yes.
Which is still like 7 years old at the time this film came out.
I'm so mad about that.
Actually called shot like 40 minutes into the movie. Boyks just goes, oh man, they should have really just done that bit with the hamster dance. And Jordan goes,
right.
Well, 45 minutes later.
Yeah, there's a scene where the cat's going to the meow agency with our main character dog, and the alarm that signals that you need to go sounds kind of like the hamster dance. So I'm like, oh, it's the hamster dance. Why didn't they just put that there? That would have been great. I would have hated it. They had a perfect opportunity to make that doorbell the hamster dance, and they did not.
My mouth is sealed.
Oh no! Ah, god damn it!
Have 7 lives left.
Don't you dare! They can't hamster dance me in the year of our Lord 2022. What year is it?
It's for this movie. It was
Boys, wake up! Pandemic 2022. Come on, we have to watch. It's 2010. We have to watch Cats and Dogs 2.
Oh no, it's happening again. We've already done this. I think I'm stuck in a death loop. And then fucking 40 minutes later. Why? It's literally the hamster dance. You can't do this to me.
Which is done by a twerking squirrel, which I find really kind of upsetting.
It was really weird that it was twerking. Yes. Why? That squirrel had cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
That robot squirrel had cheeks.
Oh yeah, it's not a real squirrel. That's important.
Squirrels are well known for having stuffed cheeks, and this one sure did.
True, it was twerking its cheeks, full of nuts. Cheeks were just
super. Okay. Anyway.
Great. Well,
anyway, I'm out. That's good for me.
Your mission, should you decide to accept it, will be revealed at HQ.
And Michael Clark Duncan.
But first, a little dance.
Fuck you! I was joking.
What? Aren't you glad?
Got him. Got him.
What the hamster dance does to a man.
How the fuck did I call the hamster dance? What?
Well, you see, the writers are hack frauds, and if there's one thing that you're good at knowing, it's hack fraudism.
Of all fucking things. I called the hamster dance.
Talk to me. A firewall's been breached.
Man, there's a lot that happens in this movie, and there's so little at the same time. But I guess we could just go through it, unless you have something specific you want.
I'm already going through it.
Oh no!
You've been going through it and as a matter of fact, for 2 weeks you've been going through it, and I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah.
As far as, like, there's a lot that happens in this movie and also very little. I would say that a lot of the very little part of it is that do you need me to read the number of references that
it's
this
mostly a reference
did?
movie? Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's references the kids wouldn't get. A
Yeah,
lot of
exactly.
So,
all of it, yeah.
It makes sense to put jokes in for the adults, but it feels like all the jokes are for the adults.
Yes. I was going to mention that much later on in this, about just that I don't remember a lot of Cats and Dogs 1, but from what I do remember, I think this is a much more enjoyable film as an adult. Just because that there's like... That being said, I think it makes it a worse movie overall, because it's super not for children. It's just all Hannibal Lecter references and, like, James Bond jokes. Like, they pull in a James Bond villain, and the James Bond villain they pull from is Jaws, whose most recent film was in the 60s, right? Like,
yeah.
Henchcat, pause.
Now that seems silly on the surface, but can you name a villain from James Bond films from this century?
From this century?
Oh, from this century?
They don't make Bond movies anymore.
They don't make Bond films anymore.
What are you talking about?
I actually could. Le Chiffre.
That's fair.
Like the Casino Royale villain, like the bleeding eye thing. Yeah. I think that's his name, right? Yeah.
I don't even think Bond is like that popular in the zeitgeist anymore. Like, really, they make Bond movies and people go to them. I never see people talking about Bond movies. Right? Like,
I think that they're probably still pretty timely. I think there's still a lot of cachet for Bond, considering how much... if you just mention who the next Bond is going to be on... You mention who's going to be the next Bond on Twitter, Boyks, and then see how much response you get, because you'll get a... Yeah, I think that you will be shocked at the number of people that give a damn about James Bond. I'm not saying that they should. I'm saying that you'll be surprised.
But if they made Weird Al Yankovic into the next Bond...
Okay, see?
Yeah.
I am tweeting.
Now we got a fucking movie, right? We got a movie. Anyway, so this film definitely has better CG than the first. It's also, later. The CG in the first is like PNG, like JPEGs badly cut. Like, it's real bad.
It's 2001. It's 2 years after Toy Story. Like,
But so the CG is better. I feel like the jokes are better written, even if it's mostly references. I also think the plot is a little bit thicker in a way, because there's more going back and forth instead of just like, I don't know, in the first one. It's definitely expanded on from the first movie, I should say.
As much as I'm going to kind of make fun of the fact that in a children's movie they decided to just like reference Moonraker and From Russia with Love and stuff over and over, they did take the James Bond idea, which was kind of the point of the first movie, but they didn't do anything with. And in this one, they actually leaned way into it, which...
Yeah.
It's stupid in a way, but also at least it has like a consistent theme and stuff now. So there is that. We should probably get into what the movie actually does, though.
Yeah, so, okay, we start off at a satellite station in Germany. And there's a puppy outside. So...
Was it supposed to be in Germany?
Yes, it's German. You can tell by the German flags.
Oh, okay, so... Because Fred Armisen is the guest here, and he talks in like a Russian accent.
Yep,
and he has
sure
a Yushonka. And he has a Yushonka, raises a lot of questions as to the timeline of this film, because that makes it seem like Eastern Bloc, but that...
It's Germany.
Okay, now
Now
I understand why Jordan was asking me at the beginning of this, like, wait, do you think this is Eastern Bloc? Because I thought, like, it was a Russian station, and I'm like, oh, do they think the Soviets are still around? And you're like, well, it's in Germany now. Like, now it's really fucked up. Sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, of the 3 writers of this film, how many of them do you think believe the Berlin Wall is still up?
All of them.
100%.
All of them. Yes. Yeah. So, but anyway, there's a puppy outside of the satellite station, very inconspicuously.
An extremely cute golden retriever that is just at this remote satellite station in the mountains. No problems here.
So he takes the puppy inside.
Found a new companion for you. Say hi to your new friend.
His bloodhound starts barking at the puppy. So he takes the bloodhound outside. He's like, hey, stop barking at that dog. That's a good dog. It's a good dog. Which then the puppy closes the door, locks him out, and starts... Well, first of all, I don't know if you want to say what happens with this puppy, Jordan, but I'll give that to you, I guess.
I guess if you want to take the more literal approach, or at least the way you see it from the perspective of the other dog, the little puppy skins itself, reveals that it's actually wearing a fake puppy skin, and that underneath is this film's charismatic, iconic new villain, Kitty Galore.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
CGI puppy's up to no good.
Oh my god. It's a gross cat. You know, the last time I saw an animal unzip themselves was Cats 2019.
Sure was. Which I honestly I feel like they really wimped out on that one. they should have just gone the whole way. Come on.
What it should have been a dog doing a fatality on itself.
Oh my god.
I meant the name of the...
Oh, they should have just called it Pussy Galore?
They should have just had Pussy Galore. Why not? It's right there.
I mean, later on they have the Pussmobile.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Is that what... Like, the Pope sits in the Pope-mobile, Pussy Galore rides in the Pussmobile. This fucking...
Stand down, Brigadier.
Okay.
The Pussmobile.
The Pussmobile?
Never get to use this thing.
They should not make a Pussmobile.
Like, everybody knows, like... I don't understand what the big problem is. Like, there was the James Bond villainess. I guess that maybe they're worried about the same name, but, like, I mean, there was the James Bond villainess, Pussy Galore, right? And she had all the cats. Like, she was the really cool...
Yeah.
She had... Yeah, like, that was the joke, right? Like, didn't she have a bunch of cats at home?
Yeah, it's because she likes cats.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't understand the problem. Anyway.
It's a kid's reference.
Kids these days are too sensitive. That's the problem.
They'd have canceled Pussy Galore.
After the dog unzips itself, like the cat from Cats unzips itself. Which that's not a thing I wanted back in my brain. Then we get the opening sequence to a Bond version of Let's Get This Party Started.
I totally forgot about that. That's one of the wildest choices in this.
What the fuck?
The Bond opening, yeah, sure, I get it. They're going for a whole thing. But why? Let's get the party started. I don't know. I still don't know why that's the choice, the more that I think about it.
Like, one of the writers is like, what are we going to do for the song? Like, they're so... I don't know.
There are a lot of music choices in this film that are kind of incredible, where it feels like they're like, okay, well, we're Warner Brothers, so we've got a big audio library, right? So, all right, we need a transition sting for 15 seconds. What should we do? Oh, I know, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life. Okay, we'll do 15 seconds of that, and then we'll just end it. And it's like, wait, but
Nothing happened in that scene that needed music. We'll just play music.
I think that's a good theory, but none of the songs that are played in this film are the original version. They're all covers.
Yeah.
So I don't think they did the Sony thing where they try to like cross-market their own hot new pop songs.
Maybe.
No, it feels like they did the Donkey Konga thing.
Yeah. Maybe they were hoping really hard they could sell the original score. Like
maybe.
I'm sure it's on iTunes.
Oh my god.
So after that, we cut to a scene where Eagle Man is standing on top of a car at his used dealership, laying an egg and threatening everybody around him that he's going to blow up the whole street.
Yeah, he has the entire building lined up with C4. Yeah. It's honestly kind of scary.
And then Eagle Man's like, I have something for you. And pulls out the switch.
And pulls out a detonator. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Eagle Man's packing. But,
It must be Eagle Man.
I've got something for you.
Yeah.
I love that this was the moment that we had to explain to Boyks that mascots typically are not the owners of their franchise.
Shut up! Shut up! Everybody knows that Ronald McDonald owns a large share of McDonald's stock, enough to be the major shareholder. We all know
controlling share.
Yeah. I mean, why else would they have him as the guy? He's got to be the owner.
And the Gromit is pissed about this fact.
And Uncle Sam owns a controlling share in the United States Incorporated.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then we have our loose cannon cop dog.
Cop dog.
Runs over and, assaults the crazy Eddie, was it? Or what was his name?
Carlito.
Right.
Crazy Carlito.
Sure.
The owner of his own crazy car lot where he sells cars at a low price. So crazy to have such a nice deal.
Yeah, he does the typical owner thing of standing out on the street corner in an Uncle Sam outfit on stilts, spinning the sign.
Owners of businesses do this. That's how I know.
But he tackles the guy and tries to grab the detonator, which of course sets the detonator off, killing all of them instantly.
All of the cops that have surrounded this car lot explode and die.
Well, do they ever, beyond any degree of doubt, establish that the building has been evacuated?
We got a first-class nutcase here. 4 hostages inside.
No.
No. The minute he hits the button, the human cop, mercifully, who is in very little of this film, screams out, "Oh my god, hit the deck," kind of thing, and all of them start running and trying to dive behind vehicles to not die. I don't think that we ever established that Crazy Carlito makes it out alive.
No.
Well,
my assumption is that Crazy Carlito fucking dies.
So we go back to the police station, and the chief is there, who is about to retire in a week.
Yes, Captain Fleming, which, as you may or may not know, is a reference to James Bond.
What the hell is James Bond?
James Fleming Bond.
Yes, yeah, as he's well known.
Yeah. So he's telling his partner, the human cop, that Diggs, our dog, has been suspended, and he needs to turn in his badge and gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At which point, we start out... Well, this movie does start out in a way that most of our dog films do, which Jordan was a little surprised at for a moment, I felt. Because you were like, wait, no, is this common? I'm like, oh yeah, incredibly. As you mentioned, Boyks, you went, well, wait, they said that they're not going to adopt this dog, so what are they gonna...
Mm-hmm.
Oh... As they put it into a kennel. For obvious execution.
Yeah, they're gonna put that dog down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dog murder in my family dog movie in the first 5 minutes, it's more likely than you think.
Well, that's the same thing they do to cops that get discharged from duty, so...
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, we could only hope.
Yeah. Yeah. As the dog is waiting to get put down in the kennel, a periscope comes out of its water bowl for some reason.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, there's a really tiny submarine swimming in the water of the boat, and the giant periscope comes out of it.
Okay, so what are the odds that they drugged the water bowl for
what?
the execution of this dog, and all of this is its like dying, flickering, like
Everything,
electrons
like
in its
everything after
brain
this
turning
moment is
off.
a dream. It's a dream.
Yeah, it's the dying moments of their brain as this dog goes to sleep finally.
That would explain a lot. It would. Yeah. So the floor opens up.
That wouldn't explain anything, because that would indicate that this dog saw Moonraker and Lethal Weapon to be able to transport all of that into his dying dream.
Okay, but
Yeah.
is that better or worse than the cats and dogs having all watched these and then decided to model their entire society around James Bond movies?
Yeah. It's hard to say.
It's a dystopia either way, I think.
Mm-hmm,
The world of cats and dogs.
Yeah. This is like a cyberpunk, 2010.
Oh my god.
Cats and dogs. So, a golden retriever, who I think is from the first movie? Question mark?
Yes.
Comes out of the floor and is like, hey, we've conscripted you into dogs. We need you to come save
It's
the
not
world.
called Dogs, it's called Dog World.
It is called Dog World.
I wish it was
What?
called Dogs.
Why is it called Dog World?
Why would it be called Dogs?
Why would it
Wait-
be called
wait a minute.
anything? No, it's literally Dog World, yes.
But the organization is called Dogs. DOGS.
Oh, maybe the
Yes,
headquarters is called
organization,
Dogs,
yes.
Dog World then. I'm
But
sorry,
then-
I
But when they
misunderstood.
jump into the floor, they get whisked away to
To
a
Dog
gigantic water bowl that says Dog World on the side of it.
Is it like Discworld? Is that the
I
joke?
All
What
of
is
it's
the
on
joke?
the back of a turtle. I
What
don't
is the
know.
joke?
There isn't one. It's a lot of references rather than jokes, to be fair.
So then that goes down a tube into a vehicle that then goes down another tube, and that vehicle has 5 speeds. Back, stay, K7, K8, and K9. That's right, we're taking this baby to K9.
I kind of do like that they put it into stay to park it. I did like that.
Yeah, I like that's CG. But I actually think they did a pretty good job with some of the props in this movie.
They didn't make Dog World? Boy, because I wanted to go.
They didn't create the giant lava
Okay,
cave.
wait.
They didn't make the big water dish tube world.
You're gonna give
They
me
didn't
shit about
CGI.
Crazy Carlito not being the owner of his own fucking car lot, and you're over here thinking Dog World exists? Come on.
I just wanted one bit of magic to exist in the world. Come on. But yeah, so they whisk off to there. They decided to recruit this inept, out of control cop who just blew up a used car dealership because
I guess he's a maniac cop.
Jordan, you've seen it 3 times. Can you give any insight as to why the fuck they just recruit this dog?
I genuinely have no idea. I think it's just because they pity him. Because they don't want him to get put down, and that's the reason.
I kind of love the fact that they just brush over so many different plot points in this movie, because like they have the whole cop thing where the cop's like, oh no, they can't, Beans, they can't put down my dog. And then they just like randomly show him once putting up missing posters after about another 30 minutes in. And then he's at the very end of the film and nothing else. Like, they just don't bother with that plot at all. And same with this dog being a recruit. Like, there's no reason to have recruited him. There's none.
So your feedback is that there should be more family shit.
No, my feedback is I'm glad they did this. It made it way better than Cats and Dogs 1.
Yeah.
They cut out all the family shit, and every time that they're like, they spend half a moment. That's maybe why I think this film kind of works in a way, is that, like, it's not good, but at the same time, by the time that you realize how fucking stupid something is, they're on to the next thing that's way stupider. So it just doesn't really matter, and they never really go back to anything else. Like, they recruit this loose cannon cop. Why? I don't know, because they wanted to recruit a loose cannon cop. Shut up. We're now going to go and fight Pussy Galore for where Pussy Galore is going to release its hot mixtape that it downloaded off.
We gotta fight Pussy Galore. Get in the Pussmobile. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It just kind of keeps going. So yeah, he gets recruited into this world because Kitty Galore is out dropping a Call of the Wild CD that will make all dogs go crazy.
Well, they definitely wouldn't go to heaven. We've already determined
No, they go to Dog World.
Yeah, they go to Dog World.
Which is hell.
Which is hell. Which is cool, because we all know Satan rules. That's what we learned. So the important thing
We've seen all dogs go to heaven too.
Is that Call the Wild? We never actually hear the Call the Wild. Like, my imaginary thought of what this mixtape is it's all pan flutes.
In 2 days, I will unleash a sound only those drool-bag dogs can hear. A sound so devastating, so terrifying, it will drive all dogs completely insane. I call this sound the Call of the Wild! I was thinking that it was going to be. I thought you were right. I think you mentioned it while we were watching it that it was going to be Who Let the Dogs Out, which
that's what a hack would write. Yeah,
which is exactly what these people would write. I'm surprised they never went there.
That doesn't make sense because that would make all humans go insane, right? The dogs. I don't think the dogs would particularly care.
Yeah,
fair enough.
That makes sense. So. Yeah, we find out after they go to Dogs, which is the dog secret spy society, and we get a cameo from Skate Dog. First of all, the dogs wipe their ass when they poop.
Yes, obviously.
Yes, which is important. And second of all, from Lou, who is actually the leader of dogs now, who is the beagle from the first movie, that Kitty Galore wants to play her mixtape and drive all dogs in the world crazy. And it's up to Diggs to stop it because...
he's the best, I guess.
I guess.
He blew up that car dealership real
He did blow up that car dealership. Then we cut to... there was a Game Boy somewhere.
It's because there was a security guard that was standing outside and he was playing Game Boy, and then the dogs were breaking in and they distract him.
Oh, yeah. So he gets pulled away from his Game Boy, which is the saddest goddamn thing I've ever heard. And the dogs break into... where the hell were they breaking into?
They break into the tower, I think, to meet with the pigeon.
Talk to the pigeon. Yep.
Oh, to meet the pigeon that Kitty Galore is trying to kill.
Even though we know one of the dogs has a jetpack, so they could have just flown into the tower.
Oh, we can stop playing Game Boy. Oh, I know you don't want it.
Wait, was he playing Game Boy? Oh, shit.
What do you think he's got on there? Pokemon Yellow,
probably
Pokemon
Kirby.
Red, Pokemon Green,
Pokemon
Gremlins
Gold,
2, yeah.
Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Pinball. I bet he's playing Donkey Kong 5: The Journey of Overtime in Space.
We can only hope.
Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why 100% Donkey Kong company time.
That's true. The other thing we find out is that Kitty Galore has an iMac.
And works for Jack McBrayer at the circus.
Yeah, his name is Chuck Tingle, the magician.
That is not true.
That's 100% the truth.
I wish that were true.
His name's Chuck something. It might as well be Chuck Tingle.
It's Chuck the Magnificent.
Chuck the Tingle.
Chuck Tingle is magnificent, so
Chuck the Magnificent doesn't imply his last name. It could be Tingle.
Exactly. Like I said, and Chuck Tingle is magnificent, so it all works out. It's definitely Chuck Tingle.
So as they're going to this tower to interrogate this pigeon to try and get information about Kitty Galore's master plan and where Kitty Galore is so they can stop her, another cat shows up in a spy suit, and the dogs are incredibly sexist to her. which is important because everybody in this movie is incredibly sexy.
Yes.
Right. And
they were just referencing James Bond. Don't worry about it.
Whenever I engage in some of the old ultra misogyny, I justify it by saying it's a James Bond reference.
So the cat gets mad and then pauses the film and cuts I Heart Cats into Dig's chest with her claws, and then unpauses and continues the cutscene, which is happening.
The jumps out the window and tries to go after the bird because the bird flies away. And then everybody pulls out jetpacks and wingsuits and all kinds of things so we can go through an Xbox 360 level
crackdown is what I was saying.
Through the wings, across the city. You got like that little bit of fog so you don't have too much of a render distance.
Yeah, they have a draw distance, which is weird. But as the pigeon's escaping, he says, I have a dozen eggs at home, you can have 6 to the cat.
Wait, I have a dozen eggs waiting for me at home. You can have 6 of them.
Why is this pigeon willing to kill 6 of his own children?
It's such a specific number. He's willing to give up more than half of his children.
Yeah. What?
Well, I mean, so you got a bargain. It's fine. I guess.
Well, you need to start below what you're actually willing to pay. It's a bad bargain.
If you're starting at 6, then it's gonna go up to 9.
Okay, but do you want to have 12 children? Maybe this is a good bargain in practice, to be fair. You don't need 12 kids at home. That's a lot of mouths to feed. I get it.
Diggs is a wild card and jumps off the jetpack dog. and
decides to jump on it and fuck him up because
clips the cat's wings. And then as they bring the cat to the ground and net her, they start waterboarding the cat to find out information about what's happening.
Where's Kitty Galore?
I don't know. No!
Don't like the water, huh?
No, anything but water. I beg you.
Diggs, that is not a valid interrogation technique.
Back off, Butch. This is how we do things downtown.
And then we find out that the cat's name is Catherine, and she actually works for Meows, which is a
rival cat agency.
It's not really a rival though, because they work with dogs.
But they don't like to work with dogs.
They don't like to work with dogs. It's like if Russia and the US have to do joint intelligence against China or something. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, they begrudgingly work together.
Yes. There's a rogue Soviet agent essentially, and the Soviets and Americans have to work together to find them. Dun dun dun.
I did notice something that Catherine is a Soviet, kind of. And her agent number is 47, which implies that she's killed a lot of fucking people. Yes,
Oh my God,
Agent 47 from the Hitman series.
I totally missed that.
So, who is she murdering for Meows? Is she just
apparently that
twisting
pigeon.
cats' necks and pigeons and what is happening? We go back to dogs and they call out Meows to talk to Tab Lazenby, who, by the way, the wiki for cats and dogs has trivia about Tab Lazenby. It says he's a masochist. That's it.
Yeah.
Needed to know that. Thank you. Fuck.
Well, I mean, he is voiced by Sir Roger Moore, so I mean,
I guess. So then we learn a little bit more about Kitty Galore's background. First of all, Kitty Galore is named Ivana Clawyew. Don't like that. And then we find out that Ivana Clawyew used to be a cat with fur, but was dumped in a vat of acid, aka the Killing Joke.
Yes.
Lost all of her hair, became disfigured as a Sphinx cat.
She was on assignment at a cosmetics factory when a guard dog chased her into a vat of hair removal cream. Careless beyond recognition and humiliated by her fellow agents, Ivana left Meows and returned to her home.
And then decided to destroy the world and take over humanity.
she decides to destroy the world because she was thrown out of her house for being too ugly.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And
she gets
then she
rejected.
went on a talk show and shot the host and started a whole cult of gross men online.
She threw up a hairball on the host.
We live in a meow society.
We live in a society.
God damn it. God damn it.
It's incredible how much they reference a lot of just random shit in this film.
Why would you make a Killing Joke reference in your kids' movie? Of all things. They make a Hannibal one later, but like, why?
I was going to say, they get worse than that. There's a lot worse than that. I was going to say, why do they make a Terminator 2 reference in this? But I actually know the answer to that, and I'll get to that later. So
is it because the writers are old?
No, I have a legit reason why they actually go ahead and do the Terminator thing. But yeah, so she kind of gets turned into a Sphinx cat by acid, as all Sphinx
Did you know that
cats
acid
are.
can change the breed of cat?
Well, this was special purple acid, you understand.
Oh, that's true. Maybe it's the ooze from the Power Rangers movie. Like Ivan Ooze showed up.
God,
I'm the galactically feared, globally reviled, universally despised. They call me Ivan Ooze.
That's a deep cut. Anyway, so next they're told to go to a house where they can find a cat where Kitty Galore last was. And they go to this house. Jordan, do you want to describe what happens at this house?
So when they get to the house and they walk in, and immediately sort of this soft, mellow music starts playing, and we pan around this nice, brightly lit room to see all the cats sort of crooning and relaxing and making it very clear that at this moment they're not all there mentally, and it's heavily implied. I think heavily implied is too light of a term. It is overtly said that these cats are high on weed.
Yes.
Yeah, no. They say the crazy cat lady, quote unquote, that they're trying to show here. They're like, crazy cat ladies, such enablers. They're all on catnip. And
She's just
shows her
dumping buds on the ground.
Yeah.
She's dumping a whole bag of buds on the ground.
What's up with these guys?
Hopped up on catnip. Cat ladies. Such enablers.
Which, if this is the way that you actually got weed, I'm in. Send me to Grandma's house where she just dumps big flowers on it, like big buds on the floor. I'm cool with it. They have a blinking contest with the wall clock cat and stuff.
Yeah,
they
do.
really go for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. They're sitting there watching it and they go, "Whoa, look, it blinks."
Kids love weed. And
They
weed
love weed, dude. Yeah.
I mean, my sales at the local elementary school say this, as it turns out. Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah.
The demand's high.
Then they move through the granny's weed house to her laundry room, where they find Wallace Shawn on all fours wearing a collar.
Oh, hey! How's it going?
Yeah. Yep. No, that was just Wallace Shawn. Weirdly, they CGI his face to have it move, because I guess he can't do it that well anymore because he's pretty old.
Wow.
They only have like 2 articulation points on his face too, which is just a little creepy for Wallace Shawn. But I mean, he kind of only had 2 articulation points on his face before this, so it makes sense.
I want to say that this was the sidekick for Mr. Tinkles in the first movie as well. So this is supposed to be a callback,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
But he realizes that they're there from dogs and meows, so he hits the danger button, which causes his litter box to fucking explode into an eruption of litter and shit.
No, it slowly fills the room.
And piss that's filling the room.
But it does erupt in a shower at first, and then it slowly starts filling up the room where they're all going to die until Wallace Shawn realizes that he is also in the room, and therefore will also die.
You're inside too.
No, I'm long gone. Outside, safe and sound, while you losers are in here, trapped in a rising tide. I mean,
Which,
oh no.
Okay, that joke was actually kind of good. That he's sitting there and he's like, oh, you're all dying here. And it's like, you're in the room too. All right, yeah, okay, well, maybe I should let it all out.
Yeah, maybe I should let you out. So then Granny opens the door, gets literally buried in cat piss and shit, and is never seen again.
Kids film.
Like she gets buried under a big mountain. I don't know if she'd be able to get out from underneath that.
No.
Or even get back up for that matter.
She couldn't even hit her life alert. She's just gone.
Yeah, she is incredibly buried under like 300 pounds of cat litter.
So, Wallace Shawn tells them kind of a little bit more about Kitty Galore's plan. But he doesn't know where Kitty Galore is. So they say something like, you'd have to find a real crazy
old
cat.
It's maybe the most contrived thing in the entire film.
Doesn't make any sense, but he's like, I know where one is. Yeah.
Alcatraz.
Specifically, the pigeon knows, too, which is really, like, it's not even that, like, Wallace Shawn's character knows where this cat is. It's just instantly the bird goes like, wait, I know where there's a crazy cat. And it's like, does that matter? Wait, why would that matter? And yeah, and as you mentioned too before, Boix, they do Alcatraz, and they don't call it Alcatraz. It's just Alcatraz.
They ruined it.
Come on.
They ruined it.
It's right there.
Yeah. So anyway, they go to Alcatraz, and they meet Mr. Tinkles, who is actually Hannibal Lecter, who even does the thing, right?
Oh, no,
it's the whole fucking speech.
Yeah, as Jordan mentioned when we were watching this, like you were saying, they put Hannibal Lecter on the gurney in the room.
Yeah.
Like there is 100 references across all of the movies immediately in this one scene. Like they just try and cram in every single moment. Like he does the like, oh, I'd have your liver with some ocean fresh friskies and a nice bowl of milk and all
I guess, yeah,
all of that. And he's in the mask for some reason, and he's also tied to the gurney, and then he's
got anime posters on the wall. Makes no sense. Why is there a Lucky Star poster?
He machine guns out all these different lines in reference to Silence of the Lambs to the point where the dialogue they're having doesn't make sense anymore. It's like the references are more important than the continuity of the scene. It's so stupid.
Yeah, this scene gets really bad with it, where it starts to just be like, I don't even know where they're going with this, other than they figured that it was another way to just jam in one more thing, like cram one more reference in there.
That writer thought they were
Silence the Lambs.
Absolute geniuses.
Oh god, yeah.
Whoever wrote that one. Mr. Tinkles tells them that the cat's eye reveals all, and that's all I will tell you. It's a riddle, you see. Solve my riddle. Solve my riddle, Batman. I guess.
I forgot about this because I don't remember how they solved this riddle. I don't remember this at all.
It's not. It doesn't really end up being a riddle. I don't know if he actually knew the answer or if this was just a coincidence. Because if he truly knew and he was trying to give them a hint, that would mean he saw the footage of Kitty Galore with the name of the magician in the reflection.
Yeah, because what they do is they use Photoshop to zoom in on Kitty Galore's eye, flip it, and then they enhance.
Oh my
like fucking
god,
CSI.
you're right. That's the cat's eye. Okay, I totally missed that was the cat's eye thing.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did he know that? That just makes no sense.
Well, you see, Mr. Tinkles has access to Photoshop.
Okay.
So,
maybe he has cable TV too.
Probably
that's
cable
how he saw
TV,
it.
Yeah.
In any case, that doesn't happen yet, because first they're traveling back from Alcatraz, where they get attacked by the mercenaries that were hired by Kitty Galore, which are two Scottish Garfield tabby orange cats, which
I guess
Bette Midler as Kitty Galore says, I always wished I saw Garfield in a dress, which is a whole thing that we don't want to unpack here. But yeah, then they have like Angus and something else. Duncan.
Right,
Yes, of course. Of course it's Duncan. I should have realized. Yes. I do like some of the things they have here. Go ahead. Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, I just want to ask, do you think this is a reference to the Scottish James Bond villain? That's as much as I know, but...
I think that it's gotta be. I don't know. Everything in this is a reference. If we didn't know what the reference was, that doesn't make it less of a reference. None of the kids watching it understood a single reference. It didn't stop them from making those ones.
I did like the leash snipers that they leashed the dogs with, and then they were planning to hang and drag them behind the boat until they drowned and died.
Yeah, that was really rad. I like that part.
Yeah, that was a good
There's nothing
part,
better than choking out and drowning some keel-hauling some dogs.
Yeah. And
they
that
do
one
have these,
time...
like, retractable leash, like, they have a gun that basically is a retractable leash and it hits the collars of the dogs, which is a good bit. It's a good joke.
It's a good bit, yeah.
They do miss out on a really obvious joke with the sniper rifles, because the rifles have a red dot sight and they don't have the cat chasing after it or anything.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I thought that too, because they went over the bird at first with the red dot, and then it went over to the cat, and the cat goes, "Sniper, get down!" and not... oh, look, a laser sight. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, it's right there.
Why was Stan Lee there? What the fuck was that about?
It was the laziest Stan Lee cameo.
He was literally sleeping. Just no effort put into this cameo at all.
Right. So, anyways, after they kick the cats in the bagpipes.
Kick them in the bagpipes, Butch.
And kick them off the boat. We find out that the pigeon supposedly was given blueprints by his cousin, which is why Kitty Galore wants to kill him.
And he's like, oh, those secret layer blueprints. Oh, I should have mentioned those like an hour ago.
Every time the plot in this film progresses, it's because the pigeon remembers something. It happens like 3 times.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So... at that point, I have a note that says we solved racism, but I don't remember what happened.
That's when... Okay, so the main dog Diggs gets injured during the fight on the boat back from Alcatraz. So he goes back with the cat to her home, and they have a moment with the cat's nephews and nieces, who are really nice to Diggs. And Diggs says, "Wow, your nieces are so cool. They're not scared of me at all." And then she responds by saying, "I guess they haven't learned to be scared yet." And it's such a powerful message about how we need to come together.
Ouch! Oh, come on. My nieces are tougher than that.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. I mean, I'm a dog. I can't believe they don't hate me.
Well, I guess they haven't learned to yet.
Oh, good.
Stop racism, folks. We did it.
Holy shit, they nailed it.
They solved racism.
I never thought of it that way.
You know, if you just went up to everybody on the street and say, "Stop being racist,"
the kennel,
we could solve so many problems.
It's fine, really.
We only need $7 billion to stop racism globally.
I guess it was just a pup when I first got dropped off.
Yeah. And then he goes to Meows, into the Meows headquarters to recuperate.
And that's when they use Photoshop, right? Yeah.
Yes, and that's also where we have, again, more of the whole extremely ham-fisted, well, what if we all got along?
Then we wouldn't need these pussy mobiles.
Then we wouldn't need the pussy mobile. Within the eye of the cat, they see a Chuck Tingle cover, which then is taking place in an amusement park. So they're like, oh, Chuck Tingle's at the amusement park.
Yes, which is Playland, which I do actually have a little more IMDb trivia on. It's San Francisco's Playland, which is a real park that existed. And as you might expect, it's incredibly timely because it closed in 1972.
What?
It's a 40-year-old theme park.
Were the writers from this for this film encased in ice like Captain America and Thor just to write this film?
Correct. Yeah. So somebody froze them back in the early 90s and then uncased them because they realized they would need them for cats and dogs too. Who can we tag in? And then they open up a pod and there's the 3 writers.
Yeah, all the other writers were busy.
God. I like to imagine that they've like been mutating these writers in vats, growing them for years.
They were put in the purple acid too.
Oh yeah, maybe they fell with the acid. It's the killing joke again.
They forgot they lost 30 years of memory as a result.
God.
And all their body hair.
So come on. So then Catherine and Diggs try to sneak into the amusement park by riding a moped with a sidecar that has a dummy in it, which has a hand that's rigged up just to throw change out of it.
This was really good. Also, okay, I do want to mention, because he has to pay the toll to get into the park. So they have like,
I guess
okay, this is a really good moment though. I actually thought this was hilarious because also as the attendant goes like, oh, like you need to pay, the cat Catherine leans forward and flicks a switch that says arm, which of course means the puppet's arm, which flicks over and throws all the change at the guy. Which I don't know. I appreciated it. It went far enough that it was good for me. That was the best joke in this movie for me.
Welcome to Playland. Parking is $5. Enjoy the park, sir.
At that point, as they're about to get into the park, they're trying to figure out how to sneak in, and they see a mascot who obviously owns the park because he's sitting out in front of it.
Yeah, the owner is there, yes.
Yeah, Jordan, what happens with this mascot?
Well, boys, as you wrongly predicted that they were going to knock the mascot out cold. Instead, what happens is Diggs grabs a block from the back of a car that is transporting a lot of blocks, and they do actually kill the man. They throw the block at his head, and he passes out.
Yeah, they bash his brains in with a piece of lumber.
Human life is considered expendable in this film.
Absolutely.
Truly.
I guess. Right, so that way they can sneak in as the mascot, which they do to get into the magic show, which is actually a trap, because there's a dunk tank, and Jaws is there. Wait, his name's not Jaws. Pause!
Excuse me.
Pause is there.
The very timely Jaws reference, not the movie Jaws, but the James Bond villain Jaws with the gigantic metal teeth.
I guess. So they tie them up above the dunk tank and are going to drown them in it. You know, a kid's movie.
Yes.
I don't even remember how they get it. It was something to do with the collar, but it's not really important, I guess.
Catherine releases Diggs's collar, and then she uses part of the belt buckle to open the lock on her chains.
Yeah,
but then she drops the belt into the tank of water, and then in order to save Diggs, she needs to get the belt out. But she's afraid of water. This is very well established. Like, this is a phobia she deals with. Thankfully, they deal with that in about 3 seconds. She just decides, oh no, I can't do this, but I have to do this. And then she dives in and that's it. Aquaphobia dealt with. First we ended racism, now we've ended aquaphobia.
Aquaphobia.
Figuring phobia.
Wow, this movie's going well.
All these things.
Right. So then the magician, Chuck
Tingle,
breaks out of his closet that he's tied himself up to for who knows what.
So he's also a masochist, as per the wiki.
Well, we need to edit the wiki and add that. That seems important.
This bit confused me a little bit because when Kitty Galore leaves the caravan, he says something that to me implied that she did it to him because he sounds mad that she leaves.
Yeah.
But then in this scene, it seems like he was trying to do a Houdini-style escape act, and it was just taking him a really long time.
And he was just practicing, They kind of flipped back and forth as to whether or not they wanted Kitty Galore to have tied up the magician, or the magician to have just done it to himself. They're not entirely certain.
Well, he's an expendable character anyway, because in this scene, he dies when a box with knives falls on top of him.
Fucking dies.
Yup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they draw on that mustache?
They sure did.
5 minutes. Sure looks like it.
Yeah.
Yo, he died.
Yeah, he fucking died.
Rip to a real one.
Over here.
And then he gets back up,
He does
Hallelujah.
resurrect himself,
Yeah.
as magicians are wont to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it was 3 days later, so it's like kind of slow, you know. But he got there eventually. He goes outside, and they're trying to figure out where the satellite is, and this is actually kind of clever because it's actually one of those rotating swing rides, and the top of it is actually the satellite.
Yeah, it's a hidden satellite, which I thought that was clever.
I think that's cute, yeah.
Yeah. So he sees Kitty Galore up there. He climbs up, falls over, dies, being swung in a circle with his head bashed against the ride over and over again.
And in the meantime, the rest of the cast gets out and then dives in. Like, I don't quite understand how they like flew in on a plane.
They
all of a
parachute
sudden and,
in from a
parachute
plane
in.
somehow.
But they were like already near there, right? Because they knew some of this stuff going on, so it was just weird.
Maybe important to clarify that the crew had been split up at one point. One half was going directly to the carnival to chase Kitty Galore, and then the other half was meeting up with the cousin pigeon to get the blueprints to figure out what was going on. And at this point, they've met back up again, and I think maybe they used the jetpack all together and then dropped down onto the swing.
That could be it.
It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense. Whatever. It doesn't matter. They parachute into this satellite swing thing, and this is where the Terminator 2 reference comes in, because they have a fight with Paws, the Jaws knockoff, and they have to kill Paws, and that's why it's a Terminator reference, because they didn't want to like do a very violent like electric death for an actual cat, and so they have it shed its fur first and become a weird Terminator robot, at which they do the dun 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 music for, and then they electrocute and kill it.
Honestly,
it is a ham-fisted way to have violence and justify it as like, it's fine, kids, it's a robot.
Yeah, couldn't they have just had a human die? The film is clearly not against that, so they should have just gotten Chuck to chew on the wires.
I would I want to see Jack McBrayer leaning over and chewing cables. Though.
No, this movie enjoys killing humans, it enjoys sexism, and it enjoys torture. They could have just gone all the way.
But it solved racism.
I mean, that's a James Bond. That sounds like a James Bond film to me. So they nailed it.
Nailed it. So after they killed Paws, then the satellite goes haywire, and
the satellite goes haywire because Diggs tricks Paws into chewing on the cable with the Baja Blast going through it.
Yeah, with the Baja Blast.
Yeah.
And then Kitty Galore's pet mouse that she's been torturing the
threatening
whole movie and threatening to eat, decides to turn on her and unlock her seatbelt, which throws her out of the ride and into a cotton candy machine. That completely covers her in cotton candy, and she gets thrown up in the air, and at the same time Chuck Tingle resurrects again and lands on his feet in front of a tent, pulls out his hat, holds it out. Kitty Galore lands inside and is now a cotton candy bunny cat.
Yeah, and like fireworks go off from like the destroyed satellite.
From the destroyed satellite. Yeah.
And everybody stands up and cheers, and they're like, holy shit, this magician's the best ever. Which I honestly thought that was a decent joke too, in a way. Like, just
it's a good joke.
How absurd it was. It was well enough. Yeah.
It's especially funny because there's a blink and you miss it moment earlier in the film when the dogs are looking up Chuck on the internet, where you can see that all of his reviews are like 1 and 2 stars.
Oh yeah,
and it's especially weird because those reviews are on the website for the amusement park. We're just allowed to post. I don't know, like Google reviews on the website itself for all the attractions.
So after they stopped Kitty Galore from playing her mixtape. But not quickly enough, because the entire Western United States and also Albuquerque have gone mad from the music. At least the dogs have. And I assume they all got put in a kennel and put down. Based on
also
the way
those
the film
cowards never actually... They play the Call of the Wild thing and they show the effects of it. We never hear the sound of it. And I'm mad. They should have They should have actually gone in and done that. They really
They couldn't afford the rights to the Badger Badger Mushroom song, so they had to cut that from the script.
But they could, as it turns out, Badger Badger Mushroom demands a really high price. Hamsterdam's cheap as shit.
That's pennies.
No, I think I know what it was though. I think it was actually a DVD and not a CD, and it was a copy of Jungle to Jungle.
How would you beam that with a satellite, like straight into a dog's eyeballs?
Straight into a dog's eyeballs, yeah. As we all know, dogs can look up. So
Jordan, as you know, you were saying that you watched Son of the Mask and stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
Because you liked it or whatever when you felt sick. I'm pretty sure I saw Jungle to Jungle 2 or 3 times.
You poor bastard.
There's my shameful
You want to know what I watched when I was sick? Snorks. Moving on.
Come along with the Snorks.
Okay, so afterwards, the cop finds his dog because the dog goes back home, and we find out that Diggs...
I'm sorry, I want to rewind for a second before we leave the fun fair, because we completely glossed over the incredible story arc on of the kid who had the best day ever.
Oh, right, there was a kid.
Yeah.
There's a kid that keeps showing up.
Go ahead, please, handle.
There is a kid that first shows up during the waterboarding scene for comic relief. Because they're at a playground at that point and the kid keeps going through a slide. So that kid's just there. It's probably around morning at that time, having a good time. Later, that kid appears.
Yeah, you've got to have the comic relief for the torture scene, though. It's very important.
Kids movie. Later, that kid appears on the boat back from Alcatraz because I guess he and his mother, or it's a girl actually, I think.
Yeah, it's a girl,
Yeah, they went to Alcatraz together for a fun mother-daughter bonding experience. And then in the evening, they went to the fun fair together.
If there's anything that Alcatraz is like, it's like a big adult playground. So it makes sense.
Do you think they show every visitor that goes to Alcatraz the Hannibal cat?
No, because I'm sure they would love to do that, but legally they can't because there's a sign that says no humans beyond this point.
Oh, it did say no humans. Yeah, it also said no catnip beyond this point.
There's a lot of legal trouble between the human and cat side of Alcatraz going on to this day.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, that kid had a really good day. But yeah, so Diggs goes back home, gets another call to duty by a fucking robotic squirrel playing the hamster dance, fuck you movie. And then we end on the only thing possible that this movie could ever end on, Mr. Tingle coming back and deciding he's going to attack the world because it never ends. It's constant war. War is hell, everyone.
And before he
Cats
signs
and dogs
off,
will never end.
Before
we
Mr.
didn't
Tinkle
solve
signs
racism
off,
at all.
he has to revive racism. He's on Jamaica. He's on vacation in Jamaica, and he says "mon," and then his friend is playing the steel drums and has a yellow, red, and green Rastafari hat and dreads on. It's
Yeah. That was the Wallace Shawn cat too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wallace Shawn, Rastafarian is
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot.
They sure bring it back.
Hey, Ringo, enough with the steel drums here. I'm trying to talk, Mon. Hey, boss, I'm ripping.
They said stop racism, but they didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say then they also did the racism. So
I don't think
who's to say if it's bad, really?
Don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk.
Yeah, they didn't solve racism at all. Wait a minute.
Well, that's why they needed to make Cats and Dogs 3.
Shit, we fucked it up. We gotta try again. Wait, we made racism cool by accident.
And then, we end on Smash Mouth, but not Smash Mouth. It's fake Smash Mouth.
I wish.
And clips of Keyboard Cat.
Well, Smash Mouth playing Why Can't We... Or not Smash Mouth playing Why Can't We Be Friends?
Yeah.
And we know it's because they keep putting the cats in Rasta hats.
It's because of racism. Apparently. Fucking
Cats and Dogs 2 set us back 15 years on this front.
God. This movie is very confusing in its message, and who it's for.
It's not
But-
for children.
No, I don't think so. But I think it is better than the first movie, which was also not for children. So
I don't know. The more that I think about this movie, I feel like because this one has worse scores. Not that that matters, but like if you look at like any aggregate critic sites, like this one's considered worse than the first. And I think that I understand why that would happen, though, in that the first movie's garbage, but at least I think that it makes more sense as a kid's film. There's more stuff that's actually related to kids a little bit in there. Like the protagonist is really young, so they can relate to the protagonist. You know what I mean? Like this one, it's a loose cannon cop that has no reason to be there. In the first one, it was like a cute beagle puppy, and it's like, oh, I'm getting trained up. I'm gonna be a cool spy. Which like little kids would get that, like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it relates to kids, whereas this one is all James Bond
Like-
70s references and weed jokes, and it. So as much as this is a better film for us to watch, we don't want to. Like no adult wants to watch this movie. So who is it for?
Jordan watched it 3 times. I don't know what you're talking about.
The only thing that I have is that Jordan's not an adult. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. This
I'm
film
so sorry.
doesn't fulfill the power fantasy of becoming a cop dog the way the first film does.
Yeah,
And I think for
yeah.
that alone, it's worse.
Really, you want to train children that, you know, everybody wants to go out and be a really cool beagle puppy that's training to be a spy.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to be the cop dog that blows up a used car dealership and then waterboard tortures a cat.
He really is incredibly evil. Like
Yes.
He does get redeemed, and I understand that they tried to give him a character arc, but he sucks so much for the first half of the movie. Like he is consistently ruining everything. He waterboards the cat. I don't even remember. Like he blows up the dealership. It's his fault that the room gets filled up with cat poop and piss because he rushes in instead of going in the cell.
He jumps on the jetpack dog's back, breaking his jetpack.
No, for like a good 3/4 plus of this movie, every single thing that happens where like they could have stopped this cat, like the kitty Galore, 100 times, except that this fucking dog that they've recruited for God knows what reason fucks up every mission that they're on. Every single time. Every time he fucks something up. And it's like, you could just have not hired him. His whole arc is that he's bad at his job, so they hire him because he's bad at it, and then he continues to be bad at his job and they just can't figure it out. It's the weirdest plot.
Well, his redemption moment is for his redemption moment. He gets told by Catherine, you know, if you can't follow orders, and then he said, "Well, I realized a long time ago that the only person you can trust is yourself." And then she says, "Well, if you only have yourself, no one can ever help you." And that sort of makes the gears turn in his head, but that doesn't really make sense for this character because he's not hurt in any way, right? He doesn't have emotional trauma. He doesn't need people to help him in the first place.
No. Yeah, there's not anything established as to this character where it's like, oh, well, he doesn't trust people because he was given up for adoption and he had like this do you know what I mean? Like they need to have that where it's like, oh, I have trust issues because of this thing. And they just don't.
They should have had him had like a partner that went rogue on him, like someone who joined the evil cat organization. Like I want to see a dog ready to shoot him with a gun on the way out of a big bank heist or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like but they really did need something like that. And then for a similar situation to pop up, but instead of being abandoned this time, they like save him. And then he's like, oh, wait, whoa, like people are like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that'd be like the moment. And instead they kind of do the moment of, oh, well, it's when they're chained up and they're going to get drowned. And so they have the moment of like, oh, well, you need somebody to help you or you're...
No, that's in the house. No, the reason he decides to change his mind is because Catherine pulls a splinter out of his ball.
Oh, that was the splinter moment. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. But like, it needed to be a bigger moment like that, like when they're drowning or whatever. And it needed to have like he got stuck in a similar situation somehow as no matter how contrived that is. Like, they should have had that, and then, oh, okay, well, see, now this is a different moment, though, and people have changed. Not everybody is an asshole like your former partner, whatever. And then, oh, okay, well, that's why I never listened to people, because I didn't trust this. But they just don't bother with it. They just, fuck it, we just need a loose cannon cop. Why do we need a loose cannon cop? Because Lethal Weapon was a cool movie. That's literally the reason why it's there.
So let's rate the dogs, since we're done talking about that. Diggs is our main character, our fuck up. Everybody hates Diggs. All my homies hate Diggs.
All my homies hate Diggs too.
I would rate Diggs A-cab, all cops, and boy do I mean all cops, especially this particular dog cop, are bastards. Out of 10.
Worse cop dog than cop dog.
Absolutely.
Because cop dog is a ghost dog.
So worse cop dog than karate dog.
No, I don't know about that. Hold up. That is Chevy Chase. I can't get behind that. I'm not signing that one off. Diggs does suck a lot, though, in this film.
Horrible dog.
So you would say Diggs sucks a lot out of 10.
Correct.
That's your score. What's your score, Jordan?
I mean, if I would keep it simple, I would just say 0 out of 5.
That's a good rating. Yeah.
He's a bad boy. And I hate to say that about a dog, but it's true.
The only other dog I want to rate is Lou, who comes back, was the main character in the first movie, and is now wearing glasses and a tie. Is a very good business dog. And a collar. Is now... It's great to see so much progress in so little time. He moved up from just a lowly intro level agent to head of the dog's, organization so quickly. And as we found out from the wiki, he might even live with his wife.
He does have kids.
They're not sure in the wiki. He may or may not live with his wife. That's the trivia.
I would definitely rate Lou a dog wife out of 10.
Yeah, I would rate Lou a family man out of 10.
Yeah, Lou is pussy whipped out of 10 for sure. Or doggy whip.
Excuse me, kitty whip, please.
Yeah, doggy whip, my bad.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any other dogs I want to rate. That was pretty much it. All the other dogs kind of suck. Or aren't characters.
Yeah.
What about the dog with that has the toilet paper on its paw?
Oh, the dog that wipes its own ass? That is a very smart dog out of 10.
That is a mature, balanced, capable dog.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you again for joining us, Jordan, aka Drinking with Skeletons. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I guess I'll plug my Twitch channel. I have a YouTube channel where I used to post long form videos, but that's been inactive for a long time, and I don't think it's ever coming back. So yeah, you can find me. I stream video games usually 3 nights a week on twitch.tv/drinkingwithskeletons. I'm a variety streamer. I don't really have any like regularly recurring games that I stream, but I especially like 3D platformers, character action games, and story-driven games. So if that sounds like it might be interesting, stop on by sometimes.
Yeah, check Jordan out.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, and you can always check out our stuff. We have our Twitter @RoughCutsCast, and you can also send us any suggestions for movies, or like we've gotten fan art a couple times, things like that. If you want to send us anything, you can send it to us on Gmail, so roughcutscast@gmail.com. And thanks everybody for the patrons. It helps us pay for watching Cats and Dogs 2. Kitty guys, Boix like raises his eyebrows and rolls his head because Boix has to pay for all of these every time.
Can I get a reimbursement? Because I paid $2.99 for the Blu-ray of the film, and because I didn't know we were going to watch it together.
Oh man!
Yes, absolutely. Actually, yes, I will do that. I apologize. I had no idea that you didn't get told.
I mean, I should have I could have guessed from context clues because you always put the reaction moments in the podcast. So I should have known that you don't just make those up for content.
No, those are real. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that we finally solved racism. Yeah.
Good jobs, Rough Cats. Rough
Yeah.
Cast.
Rough Cats.
Rough Cats. Oh no, that's the spin-off. That's the Evil Universe spin-off.
See, the thing is, I can't sign out with a joke after you say I'm glad that we solved racism, because the only joke is to revive racism like
No!
this did, and I don't want to do that. You can't
No! Isn't this his establishment?
I think he was just the mascot.
Whoa,
Oh.
whoa, hold on.
Yeah, generally, okay, Ronald McDonald is not the owner, generally.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
May not be a great cop.
I just thought that you should know.
Potential to be a great agent. He's fearless, barks in the face of danger, and is trained.
We don't know who the majority stakeholder in McDonald's is.
Yeah, you don't know that.